Shoots and Scores Hockey Talk, where we talk everything hockey. I am John.
I'm Mike.
I'm Chris.
All right, gentlemen, let's go. Now, the first topic on the docket for tonight is Calvin Pickard, or as I like to call him, Jean-Luc Pickard, was placed on waivers by the Oilers on February the 1st. With Skinner gone, this is the end of an era for the tandem goalies in Edmonton, right? Yes. I want to ask the both of you what you think of this move, because I want to know, was it a good move by Edmonton? Have the Oilers actually made their goaltending any better? I wanted to bring this up because it can be argued that Skinner has played better in Pittsburgh. Goals against average in Edmonton, 2.83. Pittsburgh, 2.53. Save percentage is virtually the same at 8.91, 8.95, respectively. The Skinner was 11, 8, and 4 in Edmonton, and 8 and 4 in Pittsburgh. Chris, let's start off with you. What do you think?
There's like 4 or 5 questions here. What's the first one you want me to answer? Pickard leaving, does that make a difference? No.
Yeah, well, do you think that the Oilers have made themselves a better goaltending duo?
No. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess they got Ingram, right? But he's had a couple of good games, and then he looks like Skinner in some other games, right? So, no, it seems like it's status quo. Rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, as they would say. That's all it seems is accomplished. I guess they're going to hope one of them can make some saves in the playoffs, and McDavid and Draisaitl score 20 goals each in the playoffs. Really, that's going to be their mandate to go through. And on Skinner, yeah, he's had some good games in Pittsburgh, and in the last 2, he's given up, I think, 5 goals in each. So that looks like the Edmonton Oilers Skinner all over again. Yeah, I think when you're an average goalie, it doesn't really matter what team you're going to play on, right? You're gonna get lit up some nights, but overall for Edmonton, yeah, status quo, no change.
Mike, do you think it's overall status quo, no change?
Yeah, it's they're just subbing guys in at this point. Like as we discussed before, the Skinner for Jari. That's you're getting the same goalie. It's just a different player. Like, you're getting the same results. Same thing with the backup goalie, like Pickard being gone and Ingram coming in. You're not really improving your team or your chances of winning. The only reason I think that Skinner looks like he's had some better games in Pittsburgh, although he has had some stinkers, less pressure. In Edmonton, he was under the microscope. Every time that there was a discussion, whenever the Oilers would lose, it was always first thing they would analyze was the goaltending every time. So less pressure in Pittsburgh. Yeah, he's probably going to look a little bit better there, but he's not any better. And Jari in Edmonton, he's the same Jari we've seen. He's going to be inconsistent. The Oilers can get out of the first round of the playoffs. I'd be surprised. And if they do, it's because of the offense, not because of the goaltending.
We were surprised last year, and the second round we were surprised.
Yeah, we were surprised the whole every round that they were able to advance.
Yes, so. You were surprised every round. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I just throw this out here. Should someone needing a goalie pick up Pickard in hopes that he could do better on a new team?
I don't know who would really need a goalie to pick him up to play the backup role. I don't see any teams that are looking for a backup goalie right now. So it's not like you're picking him up to be any more than a backup goalie. So I don't see the point. I mean, Ottawa just picked up Reimer, and he was sitting out there for a while. And I think Reimer is probably better than Pickard. So, I don't know. Some team will probably take a flyer on him just as depth, but
pardon the pun, a flyer on him.
Yeah, could very well be. Could be the backup in Philly. I'll be honest with you, better than Sam Ersson. So who knows? Maybe he will go to Philly. Good catch, Chris.
Yeah, that was good, Chris. That was good. All right. Okay, fine. You guys, I was trying to make something out of this, and you guys won't bite once again.
You just love his name. You just love his name. You're just a Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
I am. Yes, I am. I think it's great. Well, I don't think we're going to be talking about him for a while after this.
Probably not.
Okay, number two, the second topic. I want to discuss the Colorado Avalanche for a few minutes here. Now, for the longest time this year, the Avalanche had only one loss in regulation time. Then I know it got up to two, and it was two for quite a while too, I believe. And we knew that Colorado would lose more games eventually. I mean, it's just the way that it is going to be. But right now, their record is 36-9-9. Trust me, I'm not saying that this record is not good. 36-9-9 is amazing, but it's not as great as what I thought it was going to be at this point of the season. Is it good enough, though? I mean, have the Avalanche's goaltending flaws been exposed? I mean, you guys have been talking about the goaltending flaws all year. They lost 2-0 against the Red Wings on Monday night, and he didn't even score a goal. So, that's not really the goalie's fault there. What do you think, Mike?
I think Colorado is still as good as what they were showing earlier, but like we said, there's no way they could keep that stretch up of winning so many games. It was bound to happen that their guys will end up going in a slump at some point. And I mean, not that they're really slumping, but Martin Netchkash is hurt so he's missed the last game or two. Nick Hushkin had missed some time, so Devin Tays hasn't played that well. I mean, all those things will factor in. The goalies, they had Blackwood had a bad game, not against Detroit. They only gave up 2 goals, but a couple of games ago, I think he gave up like 5 goals or something. So that's a little bit out of the ordinary for him from what he's done so far. So I don't think Colorado's got anything to worry about. Landeskog's supposed to be back there once the Olympics are done, so having him back in the lineup will help. And then some of these guys will get the rest. Obviously, not the ones that are playing. However, the ones that aren't will get some rest, and like all teams, and be ready to go after. But I think Colorado's pretty much just as good, and I don't think there's anything to worry about.
Chris, you think that there's anything to worry about with their goaltending? Do you think that has anything to do with some extra losses here, or the team just being human?
Yeah. Well, I think when we talked about it, we talked about levels and how they're playing, but I said they weren't as good as the record was stating at that time. And
you did.
Yeah, they had a couple of games. I think they gave up 7 goals. 2 games, they gave up 7 goals in back-to-back games, right? So it looked like the goaltending is coming back, but they should be a good enough team that even if those 2 guys are average, they're still going to be favorites.
Yeah.
Their power play, oh my Lord.
I've been talking about it all year.
How is it possible to be as bad as it is? And still, it'd be February, and it's still operating at 9%. Some ridiculous low number I saw lately here on. That's just crazy, right? So that's a scary part for that team, because if they start getting average goaltending, but their power play ends up scoring at 25% clip, all the teams in the West are going to be in trouble. But I think we kind of knew that they weren't as good as their record was when they only had 1 or 2 losses. So they are coming back to earth there, and it'd be interesting. Like I said, I still think Dallas is probably the team to beat out there, out in the West, and doesn't matter how many points they finish, first, second, or third. I find they're the favorites because Vegas has no goaltending, so they're in trouble. As good as their team is, their goaltending has been a disaster there. So pretty much the opposite of what Colorado's getting.
See, goaltending is a disaster around the board. Pickard should have a job.
Some of these disasters are getting paid too much money for them to get let go or moved or traded. That's the problem.
No, that is true. That's true. Okay, well, let's go on to our third topic. And since I managed to mention Detroit, let's talk about the Detroit Red Wings, because we don't talk about them very often. And I think they've been really consistent this year. Unlike a lot of other teams that we talk about here, they've been pretty damn consistent near the top of the conference, I believe, right from the beginning of the year. And they have a really good record at 33-18-6. Can't argue with the record. Raymond, DeBrincat, and Larkin are all around that point per game average, close to it, a little over, a little under. The top defenseman is 37 points in 57 games, Seider. Guys, what has surprised you guys the most about the Red Wings this year? Just I'd like to hear your take on the team, because, like I said, we don't really talk about them very much, and they've been very consistent. What do you say, Chris?
Yeah, at the start, I mentioned that they put some rookies in the lineup versus the last 3 or 4 years. Yzerman's signed some, average guys, gave them long term deals to try to fill some holes. But this year, they added a little more youth. Gibson did not have a good start in Detroit, but then now he's turned it on.
Yep.
Probably in December, January timeframe. Uh, Moritz Seitzer had a great start of the season. The points are starting to slow down a little bit, but his numbers, a lot of analytic guys had him as, the number one defenseman in the league earlier this year. But I would not go all in on these guys. And there's a lot of stats out there you can look at. But if you look at goal differential, they're plus two, I believe. Let me just double check. Plus two. All right. So that's a sign of they're winning close games, and yeah, and then they're getting blown out. Right? If they lose, they're losing bad, right?
When
So
they lose 7-3.
yeah, right. And again, sometimes Gibson's had some games where he's given a lot of goals, and games it looks good. But are they a good team? Yes. Are they, really taking the next step? I wouldn't say that. And just for comparison, for their plus two, the Sabres are plus 22 right now. And they're only 2 points behind, right? So plus two is not very good, even for a team that's like 8, 10 games above 500. Um, uh, but overall, yeah, they've performed better than last year. But last year they almost made the playoffs, right? And they look like they were taking another step, and I think they have. But I wouldn't consider them, a Stanley Cup contender or anything of that nature. But they're definitely they look like a good playoff team. But again, they're only 6 points out from being out of the playoffs. So even with how well they've done, a 5 game losing streak, they could be outside looking in, right? So they're
That's
not a
all it
guaranteed
takes.
lock.
That's all it takes in that conference. 5 games and you're done. You
Yeah.
could be. Mike, what do you think? I mean, we don't talk about Detroit often. What do you say about Detroit?
Yeah, well, Detroit's one of the, I don't want to say a surprise team so far this year, but they've definitely done better than what we were thinking. I mean, I think all of us thought they were more of a wild card team this year in that range, and they've surpassed those expectations. Some of it goes against the Detroit mentality that they have, and normally Detroit lets these players marinate in the minors for a long time, so to speak, for some of them. They brought up Sendin Palika. He didn't even play in the minors this year, which is an anomaly for that team because that team has been known to let guys play at least 1 year in the minors before they bring them up. I mean, when you look at their goaltending, they've been going on for years that Kosa is the next guy, and he's been in the minors since they drafted him, basically. So he's been there for like 4 or 5 years in the minors. So he hasn't even gotten a chance yet. Edvinson's played pretty good. The depth players have scored goals for them. Van Riemsdyk, I think he's got more goals this year than he has in the last 2 years combined. Um, Andrew Kopp has played pretty good. He's generally a third line guy, but he gets a little bit of time up on the top two lines and on the power plays. So, um, Detroit's a little bit of an above average team, but like Chris said, I don't expect them to make a lot of noise in the playoffs. They're probably, if they can win a round, that's, I think, a victory for them. Gibson has played over his head, in my opinion. Maybe these injury issues that he has are behind him. I'm skeptical of it, but I know with his time with Anaheim, he was hurt a lot, and when he played, he didn't play very well. So this year, he's been relatively healthy all year, and he's been playing great. Talbot had started off the year pretty well too, but it's basically Talbot's now the backup goalie, and it's pretty clear at this point. So yeah, I mean, I think Detroit's a playoff team, obviously now. I'd be surprised if they lost their spot, but yeah, I don't see them as a Stanley Cup threat, not yet, anyways. But they do have some young players that are playing quite well for them.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go on to our fourth topic, and that is at 32 years old, Nikita Kucherov is really tearing things up now. 49 games played. Kucherov has had 13 points in his last 5 games, 28 goals and 58 assists for, what is that, 86 points in those 49 games. McDavid has played 56 games and is 11 points ahead of Kucherov. Now, I want to know whether Kucherov is the most underrated superstar in the NHL right now. I know you guys know all about Kucherov, and you would never think that he was underrated. Let's think back to just the average NHL fan, maybe watching 1 or 2 games a week, maybe watching their favorite team. How many people put this guy on the list, even though he's won the scoring title, twice? It's at least twice, right?
Hmm.
So what do you think? Is he the most underrated superstar in the league right now, guys?
Who are you asking, me or
Mike?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I would say he's underrated, but when you're looking at the superstars, you're thinking first guys you think of is McDavid, Draisaitl, those guys. Those guys always are at the top. So Kucherov kind of takes a back seat to them. So if you want to say that's underrated, maybe so. But the thing with Kucherov is, I think he's probably the smartest player in the league. And when you watch Tampa Bay play, he's not dazzling anybody with speed or anything like that. He's not hitting. That's not his style. He's very smart. When he has the puck, these guys are terrified to pressure him. Like it's especially on the power play, and I know on the power play it's a little bit different, but they'll just let him stand there with the puck for the most part. They don't pressure him whatsoever. I mean, I watch a fair amount of Tampa Bay games because I have Vasilevsky in one of my hockey pools. So, um, but he sees all the openings, and he's very. It looks like almost he slows the game down because when he has that puck, he'll find look at Darren Radish. What is this? Since when is Darren Radish becoming the new Cale Makar? Like this is
Well, right
crazy the
now.
amount of points he's putting up. And I mean, at the start of the year, Darren Radish was a healthy scratch for a good portion of the year at the start, and he started to get more playing time when Hedman got hurt. But Kucherov is using him every time on the power play. I don't know how many power play points he's got, but I imagine it's quite a few. So with that being said, I don't know if I would say that Kucherov is underrated. I just think he just takes a backseat to the Oilers guys. So,
Chris, what do you think? Do you think he's underrated? I really think he is. I mean,
Yeah.
people would talk about Makar and many other players before they would ever talk about Kucherov.
They'll talk about McKinnon. They'll talk
Yeah,
about
McKinnon. Yeah.
Barkov. They'll talk about the Chuck, Crosby. A lot of guys out there, people will blurt out before they say Kucherov, right?
Yep.
And every year Kucherov's up there in the scoring race, right? He's always there. And even this year was a slow start, and now all of a sudden he's on fire and seems to get a lot of points, especially in the back half of the year too. But yeah, he's shown over and over again he's a special player. But no, when most people talk about best players in the game, Kucherov's name is probably not coming out until maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And really, he should probably be in the top 2 or 3 the way he produces year in and year out.
Well, I think there's an argument here to say with only 49 games played that he could be at the top of the list, of the scoring list, if he would have played all the games. I know you can't do that. That's not how it works. Doesn't matter if someone missed time and you say, oh, this and that. But, I mean, he's just so consistent at the end of the season. Like you said, it seems like the beginning of the years are slow for this guy. And then, man, what? I mean, he is really firing on all cylinders here with 13 points in 5 games. Yeah, he's cooking now.
He makes everyone around him look really good. The David or the Radish guy, Darren Radish look. And I've always, the past few years, like Braden Point looks like a great player, gets all the accolades, but I do kind of wonder how good is Point if he's not playing with this guy. on the power play all the time, right? I think he just elevates everybody around him, and that's why Tampa, and especially in the power play, and that's why they've been so successful down there in Tampa Bay.
For years. For years. And the power play structure doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Okay. Well, that's
even Victor Hedman, right? Victor Hedman's had some good years for points wise, but I don't think he's produced like this Radish guy, right? So like, I don't know if the chemistry a little better there with Kucherov or Hedman was holding back a little bit there, but yeah, no, he's a superstar. There's no doubt about it, and I'm sure he'll be in the Hall of Fame when first year he's available.
For a first shot, yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, let's go on to our Hockey Prophet segment where I say that you two are the Hockey Prophets and it's my show and what I say goes. So are you ready, Chris, for a few questions?
Oui.
Okay, number one, Chris. The Lightning were down 5-1 about halfway through the game against the Bruins in the NHL Stadium Series.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa won in overtime 6-5. Is this the peak of the season for the Bruins? Is this the best that they're going to be right there? Is it all downhill from now on?
We've been saying that, in January and in December. We're like, why is this going on? And Geeky started to slow down the start of January. And
now he started scoring again.
I was all on social media. Now the puck's going back in the net again. So
it is, yeah.
I can't. I don't think so.
We're going to attribute that more to Tampa than less than Boston.
Yeah. No, I think as long as Pasternak and McAvoy and Swayman can be above average, Geeky keep scoring. Like they're going to be in it. They're going to win games. So they're hanging around.
All right, Mike. Number two, we had a message sent to us by longtime listener Sean. Here, I'm going to read it to you. Quote: "Wow, those boring vanilla Kings went into Philly and won. Ha 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 ha." Unquote. Mike, any response?
Well, who can't beat the Flyers at this point? Like, I know I've been saying this for a while. That,
Washington couldn't.
It was yeah. It was only a matter of time before this Philadelphia team showed up, and here they are. They're gonna get some wins every now and then, but this is the team that I expected all along. And as far as the Kings go, being vanilla, well, as we all know, and we'll probably talk about it a little bit after, they made the big splash today by getting Panarin. So maybe they watched the episode and didn't like our vanilla comments. So who knows? But yeah, I mean, the Kings are a better team than the Flyers. I mean, they have better talent overall. So the Flyers have three guys. That's it. So. Can't really say much about it, to be honest with you. I mean, it is what it is. So,
all right. Well, we're going to go more into this after. So, go ahead.
What was the score of that game?
I thought it was a close game.
Was it a 2-1? Was it 2-1?
That was 3-2 or something. It was a one-goal game.
But typical LA.King vanilla game. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Now, if they had to beat the Flyers like 7-2 or something, then
you'd be like, "Wow."
Yeah.
So.
But a typical LA squeak by, barely score any goals, generating offense. Gotcha.
If you can't score, I think we could go out and score goals on Samuel Ersson. I mean, he's terrible. So,
Okay, all right. We're going to go on to question number 3 here for Chris. Chris, I was checking out an article written by Ben Huffman from the Cardiac Cane page.
Oh, okay.
The article reads, "The Hurricanes end January the exact same way that it began. Blow a 3-goal lead to the Capitals."
Mm-hmm.
Chris, is this why you hate the Capitals so much?
No. That game, I was a little late to tuning into it, but the shots on goal was the big thing. I'm like, holy smokes. Like Carolina didn't show up, and it took overtime for Washington to beat them. So I think that's enough. And even Brendan Moore came out, so that was the worst 60 minutes of hockey he's seen from this group, right? So,
I know, but it just happened to be against the Capitals.
I know, against the Capitals. But yeah, I said they lost the Capitals at the start. They went into Washington and beat them pretty soundly, and now, this game happened. But Yeah, I'm not sure why Carolina wasn't ready to play that game, but they weren't. But yeah, it was a bad game.
It's just nothing more you can say about it, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Well, I dug that one up. I thought you'd like that one. So, Mike, number 4. This is the final one here. Mike, is Michkov going to be traded this year by the Flyers?
No, I don't think so. Danny Briere came out yesterday and said that they believe in him and he's a long term and they're not going to trade him. Now, here's the thing. Daniel Briere can say all he wants that they want to keep him long term. I don't think he is going to want to be there long term. Um, Michkov, as soon as the door opens for free agency, he's going to sign an offer sheet somewhere. There's no way he wants to be in Philadelphia, or I'd be surprised if he does with how they're utilizing him. For a team that has been starved for offense for years, and I'll tell you this, and I checked it today, over the last
Oh,
4 years, aside from today, they've averaged 25th in league scoring on average over the 4 years. They finished 21st one year, 24th, 26th, and 29th in league scoring, which averages to 25th overall out of 32 teams. So, how this team thinks, and you have to bring these Flyer questions up, don't you? Because you know it's going to rile me up.
I bring them up at the end
How
on
this
purpose.
management team thinks that they are so close to getting to the next step. They're brainwashed. They are so far from. They're years away from sniffing a playoff spot. Years, not 1 year, not 2 year, multiple years. And this is part of the reason. Any player with any offensive talent, they don't use. Like you look at for defense, who do they got that can provide offense? I mean, nobody. The last guy they had that could provide offense was Goss's Bear, and they traded him
Yep,
away for a
and they
bag
got
of.
rid of them.
And now, look at him go. He's like averaging almost a point a game in Carolina. Mind you, Carolina actually tries to score goals.
Oh,
I watched the Flyer game a couple nights ago. They had a 3-on-2, and I forget who it was that had the puck in the slot. Instead of shooting it, passes it to the guy in the corner. Like, I don't understand what they're doing there. Like, it's so frustrating to be a Flyers fan, I'll be honest with you, watching this team and what they do and what they don't do. Like, I could write a book here. But, anyways, no, I don't think Michkov's going to be traded this year. However, there's going to get to the point where they either trade him or he's just going to leave. So, and that's how it's going to end. And I hate to say it because I think he's going to be a really good player somewhere.
Did
I'm
he?
sure he'll get in shape this off season and stay in shape. Maybe they'll force him to stay in Philadelphia and work out with some of the guys, and he'll be ready to go next year. And this will be all forgotten. That's my take on
I
it.
would like to hope so.
Did he respond better to Tortorella?
Well, if you're
I
looking
mean,
at
Tortorella benched him for 2 games in the middle of the season. It didn't seem to affect him. Well, it actually might have seemed to
he
actually make
played
him
better
better.
afterwards.
Yeah, he played better
However,
afterwards.
I think he's definitely played better with Tortorella because 2 reasons. One, Tortorella actually,
Let him
basically
go.
let him play offense. It got to the point where he said, "Okay, just whatever, just go play offense." And he played very well. He was one of their best players last year. And this year they're restricting him again. He's not getting top line power play. They put these scrubs out there that can't score on the power play. Uh, it just baffles me. I have no idea. No idea what this team is doing. And they wonder why they're in the spot they're in. So, they're going to get a great pick this year if they pick a great player. But who knows? There's some two-way third liners that are probably available in the draft that they think will be great. So, anyways, yeah, enough with that rant.
Man, I sure know how to dig up the ranting, don't I? All right. I just want to mention one other thing here before we go on here. You had sent us a message there, Chris. I believe it was you that had sent it. Buffalo 21-4-1 in their last 26 games. That's I knew it was good. I didn't realize that it was that good. This looks like St.
Yeah,
Louis numbers from
yeah,
2019.
yeah,
You know,
big jump
21
forward.
4 and 1.
They looked. I know when they played Carolina 2 weeks ago, and yes, Carolina did beat them, but they did look pretty impressive. They looked different. Thompson looked like a problem every time he was on the ice. They got the depth players are playing better, and like Lindy Ruff has got them actually playing some type of defensive system, which has been their problem the last few years. Right, they had troubles
Well,
not giving up goals.
it's almost like halfway through the season they said, "Man, you know what? I think we believe in the system." And then poof. Because not that long ago I was talking, "Oh yeah, same old Buffalo team every year, blah blah blah." You guys were agreeing with me
Hmm.
because it looked the same. I don't know what the hell happened after January, but
But
Well,
yeah, but if anybody says Kevin Adams got fired, that's a lie because I think they won 4 or 5 in a row, and then Kevin Adams got fired. So
yes, no,
that
you
wasn't the
told
change.
us that. You
It wasn't
told
like
us
he was
that.
going down there and berating them after every loss or something. The change was happening already before Adams got canned.
What were we saying, Mike?
yeah, no, it's well, first and foremost, look at what Rasmus Dahlin has been doing. Like he's lighting
Yeah,
it up now.
that's true.
Uh, Tage Thompson has been playing great. And I mean, they're doing all this too without like Norris. Josh Norris has been out for the last, and I know when he got
Couple of
hurt,
weeks ago.
it was a day to day injury. But as I said, he stretches these day to days into weeks to weeks. So apparently, he's pretty much ready to come back. So adding him back into the lineup should make the team even better because he was averaging about a point a game for the few games he actually played this year. I think it's only been a dozen or so. Um, and they're getting scoring from like Matthias Samuelsson. Like this came out of nowhere. He's got like 10 goals. Defenseman
Mhm.
and Byram. They're all out playing Owen Power. Owen Power is like number 4 on the depth chart. It looks like
Yeah,
now.
Power does not look like a number 1 pick anymore.
He does not. He's having a down year. And they're going through goalies too. Like it's Luukkonen, and then it's Alex Lyon and Colton Ellis. Like they don't like Luukkonen is probably their goalie, but Lyons played great, and he played pretty well when he was with Detroit last year. So, however, he's a backup goalie, but he's a backup goalie that can actually win some games. So, um, Ellis, same
Unlike the
thing.
Edmonton
Like,
Oilers bag of goalies.
yeah, exactly. And Ellis is like the third stringer, and he's even winning some games. So yeah, so Buffalo's just seems to be pushing all the right buttons here, and looks like they're playing with a lot of confidence. When I was at the game a couple weeks ago in Montreal, uh, they didn't get a ton of shots, but they scored on the ones they had. They were very well set when it came to what they were doing on the ice. I think Montreal outshot them in the game. It wasn't very close either, but yeah, so they've got everything going for them the right way right now. It's hard to say if they can keep this up, though. I mean, you know how Buffalo's been over the last how many years? 15. So
It's at least 15.
I know they've missed the playoffs for a long stretch. So, but hopefully they've turned the corner. It'd be good to see them actually become relevant again and do something as opposed to floating around the league basement every year. So
Right, right. And before we go, you guys had mentioned to me about the trade. I didn't know anything about the trade today until you had mentioned it to me. When you just want to go over what it was, since we were talking about LA and Sean a while ago, you might want to bring that up.
Yeah,
yeah, so Panarin to the Kings for Liam Greentree, a third round and a fourth round, both conditional picks. So um, the Kings fleeced the Rangers, and the rumor is that Panarin wouldn't go anywhere but LA. So if that's true, that's part of the reason why. Uh, Tomorrow night, against Carolina, the Rangers, I would, if I was Chris Drury, I wouldn't show my face in the arena because he's going to hear it. There's no way that, you know, I don't know how he still has a job. This team should be a playoff team last
Should have
year.
been last year
There's,
too. Yes.
there's no reason the New York Rangers can't be a playoff team with the money they spend every year, the players that they have. It's not like they have a bunch of scrubs. How they're behind the Philadelphia Flyers in the standings is astonishing. But the fact that, and you know, if Panarin did say, I'm only willing to go to LA for this return, I would have said, well, we're just going to keep you then. And you can play it out here and we'll go from there. So, I mean, I'm sure in the offseason, they probably could have traded his rights for a second or a third round pick if they wanted to, because I know that some teams will do that. But yeah, I don't know. The Kings made off like a bandit. So, you know, looks like he's going to probably slot in beside Anze Kopitar and kickstart his game, I guess. So good for the Kings fan. They should be happy. Looks like the Kings got the piece that's probably going to get them into that wild card spot. Well, that's where they are now, but overtake Seattle perhaps in the third place in the division.
Vanilla
Chris?
versus vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla versus vanilla.
Versus
What do you think,
vanilla.
Chris?
The fight for the perfect vanilla. Yeah, so I see on social medias a few people have come out and said the same thing, so it's probably likely true. They say Carolina, Tampa, and Dallas and the Capitals were all in for Panarin. Carolina had an extension willing to give him, but Panarin's agent and him said it was LA, and that's where he wanted to go.
Why?
So,
Why does he want to go to LA?
Well, remember he went from Columbus to New York, and now New York. I think Russians like the big cities. I think they like that pull to the big cities. Who knows? Could be certain families, illegal stuff, whatever those Russians do in those big towns.
Illegal stuff.
I'm pretty sure that's why. But yeah, because he's not going there to win, right? Kopitar is retiring, right? He's not going there to win. I'm surprised with the money.
Yeah, what was it?
Especially when
$22
they came out with
million?
the 50, and some people said maybe 40. He was getting. Someone said a team was offering 40. I know. I tweeted last week 3x12 to me was the perfect for him. Right? I would have given him 36 million over 3 years to get 2x11. But obviously, they went to the Kings. The Kings said, "We'll give you this good prospect, I guess." I know New York fans are saying, or someone's saying that was their best prospect, Liam Greentree, and a third that could become a second if they win a round, fourth that can turn into a third if they win 2 rounds. Like, I don't like. It's not good, but anyways, I think the return is due to Panarin, using his no trade clause to determine exactly where he wanted to go. But Panarin's not going to win. He's not there to win. And for the Kings going forward, yeah, we've said before they're vanilla. They need a little bit of offense. But then I got a good tweet here from Travis Yost, who's an analytic guy for TSN. Sometimes he helps out with TSN. I think he has his own analytic website and such. And here's his tweet. Sorry, Kings fans. With Panarin in the Kings lineup, they have moved from, quote, not winning the West in any circumstance this year, quote, to not winning the West in any circumstance this year. If you feel what I'm saying, he's saying nothing.
Status quo.
Adding Panarin is status quo.
Status quo.
We'll see. He's a talented player for sure. But then, where are the Kings next year without their number one center, right? And Byfield kind of not really progressing. Like,
well, we'll worry about that next year.
I guess so. Yeah, I believe they still got a lot of cap space, especially for only 11 for Panarin. So
I just can't believe
taking Kopitar money. I think Kopitar was making 10, right? If I remember correctly.
I don't know, but I can't believe how little he got. I'm a little bit shocked. 2 years.
I thought to be more
$22 million?
But again, there was no leverage, right? He basically said, I want to go here. And probably as soon as he made that decision, he's probably stuck with whatever contract the Kings wanted to offer him.
Well, I think I would have done exactly what Mike said. I would have just said, well, for that, screw you. And we'll trade your rights later on in the
Yeah, the
offseason.
Rangers wanted to do it before the Olympics. I don't know why they just couldn't wait until after the Olympics. I'm not sure what the purpose is there. Is maybe Panarin would think about other teams, but there seemed like there was a race for some reason to get it done now. Only those guys, the agents, Drury would know the truth on that.
All right. Well, it's interesting anyway. I wasn't expecting that. No, I did not know about the trade until you told me. But it's certainly going to make LA a little more exciting to watch. So we'll see how much better they do. And they are in the spot right now, like you said. So I'm sure they didn't get worse.
Yeah.
And they'll be better. We'll see what happens.
They're adding just adding a shot of vanilla extract into that vanilla team. A little vanilla extract, give it a little more hint of.
Yeah, maybe they put some cherries in with that vanilla. I don't know.
Could add a cherry. They could add, maybe there's a move coming down. They could add the cherry.
Put the cherry on the top.
Yeah.
Got the hot sauce dripping off the top. You just never know. So, all right, we'll leave it there for tonight. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you all next week. Later.
Later.
Later.